Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? It's KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for our Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about Dynamite, July 10th, 2024. Tony, Nigel, and Excalibur on commentary. Almost said Taz. He's still banned from the building because of Chris Jericho and the Elite. But I will say, some good shit tonight, man. We started off with the Owen Hart finals here with Bryan Danielson versus Adam Page. Jeff Jarrett's the special enforcer. This match is crazy. It takes up basically the whole first hour, pretty much, of Dynamite. And I was like, oh my gosh, Danielson's bloody. And his neck, his poor neck. And I'm like, why do I have to keep watching him grab his neck? And I'm like, God damn it, Bryan. As much as I want you to keep wrestling, I don't want you to hurt yourself, but he's probably working me. And I'm like, oh, he's pulling my emotions all this way and that way. But he did it. He's going to Wembley Stadium in the face, Swerve Strickland. And there was a ref bump. Then here comes Jeff Jarrett, and he gets pushed by Hangman Adam Page. This Hangman Adam Page is mean. He's a mean son of a bitch. But guess what? Jeff Jarrett's like, oh yeah? Well, I'm the last outlaw, boy. Pulls off his shirt. He has a ref shirt, and it's a back and forth battle. But Bryan Danielson got it, and I was like, damn. And here comes Swerve. I was like, oh, we're going to get it on right now? No. Because Swerve was going to talk anyway tonight. So, but I really enjoyed this. I thought this was great. And we started off the show with Will Ospreay, and that was awesome too, man. I just jumped right into the first match because of how much emotional investment I had into it. But Will Ospreay had some words for Mr. MJF, telling him like, hey, you're a prick. Like, I got more talent in my left nut than you, or is it right nut? Either or. One of the testicles has more talent than MJF. But MJF goes on the screen. He's drinking some wine. He's like, I ain't going to come out there and all these stinky people. They don't deserve my presence. But I'll tell you this. Will Ospreay versus MJF next week for that championship. And he says, and I'll show you who the best is. Will Ospreay's like, bring it, bitch. Because bitch is such a good wrestling word. But, yeah, I really enjoyed the starting the show. And the match, though, is what really kicked it off for me. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, Will Ospreay versus MJF just seems too soon. Like, way too soon. Like, you could build this up to All In unless something happens at Dynamite episode, I believe it's 250 Dynamite. That's why we're having this match there. But I'm like, that match can be held off. It can. Like, you can build to it. Like, how was Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson? That should have been Will Ospreay and Bryan Danielson at All In. Yes, we got Bryan Danielson and Swerve at All In, but, like, Tony needs to understand that you can stretch these things. And I know as wrestling fans, we're not patient. We want it right now. We watch every week. We're like, how come he's not pulling the trigger? But some things I'm like, oh, I could wait a little bit. You could make some magic with these two, especially Will. He's good on the mic. MJF is amazing on the mic, so you could have some back and forth verbiage, man. So that's how we kick off the show. And then, like I said, the Owen Hart finals, Bryan Danielson versus Adam Page. And here comes Swerve. Swerve comes out. He's talking. He's like, I'm going to face Bryan Danielson. He's got a win over me, but I'm going to beat him. And he says, I am going to be on Team AEW for blood and guts. And I was like, okay. So he's going to be the newest team member he's going to be part of the team, leading the team. Captain Swerve, that is. Whose house? Swerve's house. Willow Mariah package for their finals match, and I'm so happy that that's ending the show. That's the main event. Very happy about that. The Acclaimed music video, Bucks Diss. It was a fun one. Got some parodies of the Young Bucks and super kicking them and taking all their stuff in their locker room and all this and that. I really enjoyed the music video itself. Next up, Stampede Street Fight. I'm sorry, I kind of blanked most of this one out until the end Well, of course, they got Joe, and they put him through a wall with the crane or whatever, fork. Well, I don't know. That was like the most interesting part about that. Not the stupid horseshoes. What's it with Jericho with bringing out dumb shit to the ring? Like, seriously, like, wasn't the dice the last time, and there was something else, and then those horseshoes, and I'm like, the only thing I care about is if Joe's okay, because he got in an ambulance, and Jericho's like, bye, fuck off. All right. Sorry, then we have Global Glory 4-Way. Sounds like a porn. Claudio versus Kyle Fletcher versus Pac versus Ishii. Awesomeness. Pac gets the win. Don's on commentary, and he says, like, look, I've made a lot of promises. Yes, you have. Made a lot of bold statements. None of them really came to fruition. But he's like, I'll tell you this, though, brother, I'm going to be at All In. You can mark my words. Renee's with Hangman Adam Page. Well, Renee's backstage. Here comes Hangman being a dickhead. And I like that Renee finally snapped back. She's like, oh, hell no. Look here. You show me some goddamn respect because I'm just trying to do my job like you. And he just hits the door and she's like, well, fine. And walks away. And Okada comes out. Okada's like, what do you want? Bitch. Huh? Bitch. He wasn't saying these things, but that's, I feel like, would be every other word he just should incorporate. Bitch. And, like, switch up the bitch. The bitch. 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 You know, switch it up, Okada, a little bit. But Bucks come out, and just this weird, like, they come out, and they're like, oh, yeah, well, what can we do for you? He goes, I'll do it, and walks off. And I'm like, what? Is he part of the blood and guts match? Is that what we got here? Even the commentators were like, I think that's what he meant, that he was going to join the Elite in the blood and guts match. And I was like, oh, okay. Weirdly executed, but all right. Mercedes Moné comes out, says she's the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be in that crowd. I was like, oh, hell no. And here comes Britt Baker. Huge pop. Mercedes Moné's running off, but Britt Baker took out the security guards that she brought with her. And then we cut to Brandon, the Elite Stooge, getting attacked by Darby. And he says, hey, next week, Jack Perry and the Elite, you think this is over? It's not. I'm coming for all of y'all. Next week at the 250th Dynamite. Remember, check in. Dynamite. 250 episode. Remember that. But Darby's on the hunt for the Elites. And now, what I really wanted to talk about. Owen Hart Finals, Willow Nightingale versus Mariah May. Whoever wins is going on to Wembley Stadium to face Toni Storm for that championship. I was very torn with who was going to win. I really wanted Willow. I wanted Willow to get her that opportunity, but I really love Mariah May. And I'm like, but I was like, oh, the dynamic of, like, you could build them. You could build Mariah and Toni and, like, their friends. And then the betrayal, of course, and whatnot. What I've been waiting for the betrayal ever since Forbidden Door with Mina. I was like, something's got to happen, right? And after Willow gets pinned by Mariah, 1, 2, 3. Even though there was a weird Chris Statlander and Stokely, which they came and caused a distraction or caused some assistance. I don't know. It really didn't matter. Like, they came in, interfered, and I think the spot was supposed to end right there, but I don't think they was really thought out that well. But they run off, and I'm like, oh, it really doesn't affect the outcome in that moment because Mariah May still gets the win. Gets a pin, 1, 2, 3, and it's huge. I'm like, oh my God. Willow shows some respect, says, good luck, Mariah. You know, you're going to Wembley Stadium in front of your people and all this and that. And here comes Toni, and they're celebrating, and, you know, they're holding hands, and she runs up with them. They're skipping to go, so Mariah can go get her belt or the trophy and whatnot. And bada bang, bada boom, watch out for the fucking shoe. Mariah May takes out Toni, and my heart went crack. Takes out Luther, sends Luther through a table. I'm just like, no, this is so beautiful. I've been waiting for this. It's such a powerful and emotional ending to Dynamite. A strong ending that made you, like, want more, like you're frothing at the mouth, like you got rabies. Like, yeah. So, but man, this broke my heart, like, hardcore, because I was really enjoying it, but I was like, there's a moment where Mariah really needs to get away from Toni to be her own. And then my brain started working. I was like, oh, we could build this so well. What if leaving her bloody, holding her in her hair, and she hit her with the shoe and stabbed her like a bunch of times. Then I was thinking of the storytelling. I was like, oh man, what if she hit Toni so freaking hard, she knocks the timeless Toni Storm out of her, and she comes back as Toni Storm, like, wearing her outfit that Mariah's been wearing. Mariah's going to get her own music. She's going to be her own person, which I'm very excited about. Is Mina going to be there? But the fact that she made a statement, like, look, I will now face you, and you are now my enemy, and I will do anything and everything possible to have my moment and that championship in front of my people at All In, and I'm all for it. Great ending to Dynamite. Oh, man, I could give Toni a big old smooch. Overall, though, matches of the night is both Owen Hart finals matches, man. I'm excited for Bryan Danielson taking on Swerve. I'm excited for Mariah May and that ending, man. The betrayal, as I wrote here in my notes. Bloody Toni. Sad, screaming, crying. And it was like, all of us were like, oh my God, because I had my jaw to the floor. My wife's like, what's wrong? I was like, it's just like, stupid big head boy. Walked off. But that's okay, though, because I'm a pro wrestling fan here, folks, and we get very passionate about these things. But that's it. That's all. I give this a solid 5 out of 5, even with Jericho being in it. But tell me what you thought of the show. Drop those comments below. Were you brokenhearted like I was with this ending? Were you like, oh my God, they have us now. The stories we could tell, the build to All In London, August 23rd. So like and subscribe, share with your grandma, share with the bum down at Walmart. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/New World Podcast. Get yourself that sweet nWp logo created by Penta X. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Adorable. Max, I'll see you next week, you little bitch.